learning about G. There are only 2 letters in the English alphabet that can be categorized as being either hard or soft. Did you know that? Only 2. Vowels have long and short, but there's a lot of different vowels, but only 2 letters that can be hard and soft. Hard and soft. Those are C and G. And last time we learned about C. Today we're going to learn about G, but they follow the exact same rules. So if you happened to be here last time on Monday, then this lesson is going to be a little easy for you because you already learned the rule. You're just applying it to a different letter. If not, if this is your first time, great, you're going to learn it today. The rule is C and G, today G, will make its hard sound, which is made with the tongue kicking off against the back of the throat. It's kind of a hard sound. G, G. That's its hard sound, and it will make that sound always unless. Always unless there's an E, I, or Y after it. So a G will always say G unless there's an E, I, or Y after it. If so, it will say J, and it will sound like a J. That's its soft sound. So the hard sound for C sounds hard, K, like kick. The soft sound for C sounds soft, S. So we have K and S for C. The hard sound for G sounds hard, G, G. The soft sound for G sounds soft, J. So we have G and J, hard and soft. Only C and G get those, and they both follow the same rule. They always make their hard sound unless there's an E, I, or Y after them. Then they change and make their soft sound. So for spelling, J isn't used very often. You're going to see GE a lot of times. So a lot of our words today are going to have a GE that says J, right? J. JE is very rare, especially at the end of words. I don't even know if there's any word that ends with a JE. Like if a word ends with a J, like fudge or hedge or huge, I don't think there's any word that ends with a JE, but there's a lot that end with GE. GE is a lot more common. All right, so let's start practicing. Let's start practicing. Let me share my screen. All right, so together we are going to spell the word glotho. Glotho. We have G, L, A, F, O. We're spelling consonants first. Here's that hard G, G. It's the only letter that will say G. So if you hear G, spell it with a G. L, A, F, O. Ah. We always try the single vowel first. There are different things that will say ah. For instance, A can say ah like in all, but O is the most common. This is the most common way to spell ah, and we always go for the most common single vowel first, which is O. Now, ah is a short vowel. You'll know it's a short vowel if it doesn't say its name. So if it says its name, A-E-I-O-U, that's its long sound. If it says anything else, it's a short sound. And since ah is short, short vowels require 2 consonants after them. If there's not 2, make 2. Now it can make it soft sound, short sound. And then O at the end is often spelled with an O. It can be an OW, but we're going to go with just the single O for this one. Same with in yours, okay? It can also be an OE, but that's not in very many words. So your word is clomo. Clomo. K-O, ah, O. Let me tell you about this right here before you attempt it. You have 3 choices for the K sound. You always try this one first because it is way more common than this one or this one. This is your first option, and if it works, stop, you're done. And it usually works. And I'm going to tell you when it doesn't work in its own lesson. I think that's next month. But so for today, whenever you hear k, spell it with a C. So your word is clomo, clomo. And then put that in the Q&A. Clomo. Good, Alyssa. Clomo. I'm seeing some A's right here. A can say ah sometimes, but only in certain instances. It can only say ah if the next letter is an L or an R or a U or a W, or if the letter before it is a QU or a W. This is a lesson, another lesson, but that's the only time A can say ah. You always try the single vowel that is most common, which is an O for the ah sound. So spell ah with an O, usually. Clomo. I love the double M's, you guys. And if you didn't put a double M, you're like, ah! Let's do it together. So our consonants are k, l, ah, o. So for our ah sound, we always try a O, right? And if it works, stop, you're done. And in order for this to say ah here, we need to have two consonants after it, which is easy. We can just double that M. Short vowels need two consonants after them. So we just double the next letter. Now I can say ah. O at the end is usually spelled with an O. Sometimes an OW, sometimes an OE, usually an O. Nice, Mason. There you go, Newmont and Sheath. I knew you could do it. Just for fun, what would that say with only one M? Now it's not clomo anymore. If you take away an M, you take away one of those two consonants. And a short vowel needs two consonants. If it's only one consonant and then another vowel, then that makes that say its long sound, its name. That would say clomo, clomo. So if you want to say ah, you need two consonants after it. Next. Let's do Grancy. Grancy. So we have g, a, n, s, e. Consonants. Here's that hard g. G, a, n, s, e. When you hear, so this could be an S or it could be a C for the S sound, right? Let's go to this one real quick because when you hear E at the end of a longer word, it's usually spelled with a Y. Now you know that that C can say its soft sound because there's an E, I, or Y after it. And that is the proper choice right here. CY is a very common ending that says C at the end of words, like fancy or bouncy. The sound C at the end of words is usually spelled CY. So let's finish this word now. For the A sound, I'm going to spell it with an A. Can it make it short sound here? Yes, because there are two consonants after it, so it's perfectly fine. Grancy. Okay, your word, let me fix that, is glepsy. Like Edward, elbow, exit, elephant. Glepsy. Glepsy. And remember what I said about the C sound at the end. Glepsy. Nice, Ellie and Dean. Good, Elliot and Emmy. Glepsy. If you hear C at the end, Jack, I want one more letter at the end of your word. And then it's a like Edward or Eddie or elephant. Glepsy. Nice, Carmen. Good, Mason. Gorgeous, Karis. Nice, Ellie and Dean. Nice, Piper. Good, Nimot. Good, Sheath. So close, Jack. So close. When you hear, Jack, when you hear E at the end, spell it with a Y. Like baby, pretty. E's at the end are usually silent, so if you hear E, put a Y there. And then you'll have it. You'll have it. Nice, Carolyn. Ellie and Dean, give me a glepsy. Glepsy. Oh, Melanie, glep G is spelled perfectly. What if it's glep C? Nice, Riker. Nice, Elliot and Emmy. Okay. Consonants for glepsy. G, O, E, P. And then here's that C at the end. C at the end. You guys, you are the best focusers. You just listen to what I say. I only have to say it one time, mostly. Sometimes I have to repeat a little bit, but everybody needs repetition. But you guys, you just hear what I'm teaching and then you just apply it in the very next word. That's remarkable that you just retain this new learning so easily and so well. And then this is spelled with an E. Can it make it short sound here? Yes, there are 2 consonants after it, so we don't have to double the P. You guys are doing amazing. Next. Jalisco together. Jalisco. J, E, O, I, S, K, O. Jalisco. For the consonant J, this can be a J or a G, can't it? Because we know that this, even though we haven't spelled it yet, this E sound, it's an E, I, or Y, so that means that this G can say J. And that is how we're going to spell all of our J sounds today. Just as a heads up, just as a little hint, we are never going to use a J in this lesson. There you go. If you're wondering if it's a J or a G, it's a G because the next letter is going to be an E, I, or Y. So we have more consonants. Let's go. J, E, O, I, S, K. It's almost always spelled with a C and then O. Here we have our E, but can it say E yet? There's only one consonant after it. Short vowels is not saying its name. So it's not long, it's short. So that means it has to have 2 L's. We have to double that L for it to make it short sound. I already has 2 consonants, plus it's in the middle. I's in the middle can break the tap 2 rule. And then O at the end is often spelled with an O, just a single O. There's Jalisco. So your word without me is Jimasco. No J's, only use G's. Jimasco. J, I, M, A, S, K, O. Jimasco. I like itchy, igloo, inside, in. Jimasco. And my lips are closed for the Jimasco. Jimasco. Nice, Alyssa. Jack, that's gorgeous. Well done. Jimasco. Karish, you know how to spell the city, don't you, in Russia? Karish, you have 1 extra letter. All I need is an I at the beginning. Yeah, you have an and an I. Only an I is needed. Nice, beautiful. Piper, I need 1 more letter in the middle. Maybe 2 more letters in the middle, actually. Jim Moscow. Okay, looks like this one's a little bit harder for a lot of people. Ellie and Dean, that would be how you would spell it if it was Greek, but this is an English spelling, but I love that you knew that it could be a Y right there. Okay, I don't know if one person has got this. Carolyn got it. Carolyn, are you, Nima and Sheath got it? Are you celebrating? That's it. Only 2 people got this word, so let's go over it nice and slowly. You'll be like, wait a minute, I thought I got that one. All right, Jimasco for J. I love that you knew it was a G. Well done. I, M, A, S, K, O. So far, so good? Vowels. I, Now that is a short vowel. It is a short vowel, so it needs two M's. Now you might be saying, but April, you told me that I can break the tap two rule. Only if it's in the middle syllable. It has to be in the middle syllable. It means it has to be the middle vowel in order for it to break the tap two rule. Like this one, it's in the middle vowel. There's a vowel before it that doesn't touch it and a vowel after it that doesn't touch it. Those are the only I's that get to break the tap two rule. This one's the first vowel, so it doesn't qualify as being in the middle syllable. So it needs two M's. Then we have an ah that can say its short sound right here just fine because of those two consonants. And we're going to put an O at the end like that. But if you put an OW at the end, that's okay too. Technically correct. Well done, you guys. Nice. See, all I did for a lot of you was say, give me one more letter here or look at this spot. You guys got that. You're amazing. All right, I'm going to send you off on your own on this one. Okay. Do you want a hint or do you want no hints? Let me know in the Q&A on this one. Do you want a hint or no hints? No? Getting lots of no's. Okay. All right, your word is, I love how you guys love a challenge. Oh, Karis and Jack, sorry you got outvoted, but you know what? I'll type a private hint to you, okay? All right, your word is G pestry. G pestry. I'm going to type a private hint. G pestry. G pestry. Hopefully I sent that privately and not to everybody. Here's how you break it up. G, E, P, S, T, R, E. G pestry. G, using a G, not a J. G pestry. Let me say that better because I think I'm running those sounds together. G pestry. Yeah. G pestry. If you hear, sure, Alyssa. If you hear E at the end, spell it with a Y. If you hear if you hear E at the end, spell it with a Y. I love that some of you are asking, did I send it to everybody? All right, everybody gets the hint. Long vowels only need one consonant after them. I don't even know if I wrote that right. Here, I'm going to send it to everybody. Here's your hint because I might have written that wrong. Long vowels only need one consonant. I think I might have put a vowel there after them. This is your real hint because I think I miswrote that. Long vowels only need one consonant after them. All right, so our consonants are, for G pestry, J, E, P, E, S, T, R, E. Right so far? G pestry. Now all we have is our vowels. So for E, you're going to use an E if you can. And can you hear? Can it say its long sound, its name? Yes, because there's another vowel in the next one or two spots. This is what I was trying to, this is the hint. You don't need to double the P because it's not short, it's long. G, it's saying its name, so only one consonant after it is needed. Now this is short, it's not saying its name, so it has to have two consonants after it, which it does, so it's perfect. And then E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. G pestry. Nice job, you guys. Karis, that was my fault. That's why I said, you know what, I think I need to say this better because I think I pronounced it as tree. G pestry, which sounds like a CHR, like chur. So that was my fault. You spelled it exactly like you heard it. So good job. Yeah, good, Mason. Yes, everybody. G pestry. Can I see what other people say? No. I keep the comments private so only I can see them so that there's no pressure on you guys and nobody's worried about other people seeing their answer. Yeah, I did Iman Sheath. Well done, you guys. Okay, last one. Jeppy. Jeppy. J-E-P-E. Jeppy. 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 How do you spell Jeppy? Good, Mason. How do you spell Jeppy? Give me another letter, Alyssa. Give me another letter, Jack. Because we have a short vowel. Then I know you'll get it. Good job, Ellie and Dean. Give me another letter, Karis. Give me another letter, Carmen. Nice job, Carolyn. Good, Alyssa. Good, Piper. Nice, Melanie. There you go, Ellie and Dean. There you go, Karis. I knew you could do it. Beautiful. Yes, perfect, Jack. I knew you guys don't even need me. Okay, Jeppy. So we have J, E, P, E. E is short, so it needs two P's. E at the end is spelled with a Y. You guys are getting good at this. Now, just as a reminder, nobody's perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. I hope you don't expect yourself to be perfect. So if you make a couple mistakes, bravo. Welcome to the learning club. That's what we do when we learn, is we make mistakes and then we learn from them. And then we get better the next time. It's a fun process and you're doing amazing. I'm proud of you. Have a wonderful weekend, my friends. We will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.